What's going on, NEM crew? Welcome back to another video. Today we are continuing more work on the Datsun. Hopefully by the end of this video we can have it wrapped up. Shouldn't be a very long video. We just got to get the booster installed and all the lines buttoned up and then bleed the brakes. That'll be the last little bit that needs to be done before we can get this thing back on the road and see ultimately if there's any difference from before we started this whole little project. Let's jump right in. Alright guys, we're going to jump right in to getting the booster installed. That way we can get the car back and up and running. So we're just continuing from where we left off in the last video. If you want to go crazy, you can clean out the master cylinders themselves. I did a little bit of cleanup in here just to make sure all the old fluid was out, because we are going from a .3 to a .5.1, so you want to make sure that the system is completely cleared out. Now it would be good to have some compressed air actually right now to blow out some things. Gonna take an extra step and just block off the thread holes, bottom of the master cylinder. Just because if any fluid does come out and gets all over the booster or the engine bay or whatever, it wasn't really a point then in painting the booster. That's what we're looking at. Let's get it back in the car. Looks brand new. Didn't paint the back because no one's gonna see the back. But at least, actually I did prime it, so it's at least sealed. But let's go ahead. It says actually in the instructions to put the booster in first and then the master cylinder in after. We're gonna try it like this, see what happens. I know I can take it out like that. I think it's just for adjusting the little or the booster to the master cylinder to make sure there's a rod in there, make sure that it's not too far away or too close to it. If it's too close to it, you're gonna just lock up the brakes really early. And if it's too far away, you're gonna have a lot of pedal travel. The pedal is gonna go all the way down before it starts even compressing the brakes. So hopefully right now it's good because I buttoned it all up, but later down the road if I have to take it out, it's something I can always do. Alright guys, one thing I almost forgot was the end here that attaches to the brake pedal. So make sure you don't forget that. You also kind of wanted to make a mental note when taking this off of where it was. I'm pretty sure it was just about flush with the end of this piece that threads on at the end. So I have it like that. I didn't tighten it crazy because I want to make sure, do a test fit, see if it's if it lines up. And then we can go from there, because if it's too far in or too far out, if it's too far out it won't line up. If it's too far in you'll have to push the brake pedal in a little bit to get this through, and it might activate the brake lights. So you kind of just gotta fiddle with it and figure out. I think I have it set up perfectly. So now we're ready to plop this in. Just be careful. We got the booster in place. Now we have to go in the car. This is the more uncomfortable part. Kind of sore from taking the booster out yesterday actually, just because it's a lot of awkward movements, but let's see if it's lined up the way we want it to. And if it is, then we could put the pin in and then tighten all the bolts. It's as simple as that. Screw in or attach the fittings from the lines to the master cylinder, and then you could start bleeding the brakes essentially. So we're going to take a quick look under here. Hopefully we're good to go. We don't have to make any adjustments. So it might be hard to tell up there, but it needs to go up, which is fine. I could just push it up and put the pin in, but I think once I do so, it's still going to have to come outwards towards the back of the car a little bit, the pin. You can't see, I'm getting in the way. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to try putting in the pin like this. If not, it's got to come out just a hair, and it should be good. So my estimation was just about perfect. It went in, and it is literally perfect. So I think that was just a stroke of luck. Now you want to grab your little cotter pin that holds it in place. Nice pair of long needle nose pliers helps out tremendously. Put this in, we can tighten up the nuts, and then we're good to go. Alright guys, the brake booster is installed. Everything on the inside of the car is buttoned up. So now I'm going to go through and start changing these lines. Now these are actually molded lines. As you can tell, they have a specific route and path that they're designed to go and fit into. I do not have replacements for these. I am just going to use just regular rubber hose, and I'm just going to guide it along the body using zip ties, and hopefully it doesn't look too bad. So we're going to try and make it work. We'll see what happens. The one thing you do have to make an effort to do is watch these corners. You want to make sure that you're not pinching the line too much, that it's not, you know, cutting off the flow. So we're going to see what we can do with just regular rubber hose. Alright guys, so this is the finished product here. Got the new hoses. The brake booster looks all nice in there with the master cylinder hooked up. So now the last thing we need to do is bleed the brakes, make sure everything is good. So the process I'm going to take is I'm going to fill the master cylinders up with brake fluid, and then I'm going to crack the rear bleeders and then try and gravity bleed it. So as soon as I get fluid at the rears, I'm gonna close the bleeders, open up the front, and hopefully we can get fluid going to the fronts. And then at that point, at least we know there's fluid at all four corners. And then we are gonna use the vacuum bleeder to bleed a little bit more, to suck some fluid through, hopefully get all the air out. And then we're going to go to the original method of bleeding brakes by the good old pumping the brake pedal and having someone manually crack the bleeder and get the air out of the system. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully the next time you see this car, we'll be going for a test drive and testing out these brakes to see if there even is a difference, because we don't know if this at all is going to change the way that the car stops and performs in the braking aspect. But that's it for this video, guys. Peace out. Stay classy, crew.